21. Global financial crisis, 2007 to 2008. The global financial crisis of 2007 to 2008, triggered by the collapse of the housing bubble in the United States, led to a worldwide economic downturn. This affected employment and income levels across the globe, leading to a decrease in birth rates in many affected countries as people delayed marriage and childbirth in the face of financial uncertainty. 22. COVID-19 pandemic, 2019-present. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2019, has had profound impacts on global health, economies, and demographics. Lockdowns and economic disruptions have led to changes in migration patterns, a decline in birth rates in many countries, and significant shifts in how people work and live, including a rapid acceleration in the adoption of remote working technologies. These events not only shaped population sizes but also influenced the social and economic structures of societies worldwide, affecting generations differently based on their life stage during these events. Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love. '23. Rise of renewable energy, 2000s present. The 21st century has seen a significant shift towards renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. This movement is driven by growing concerns over climate change and the environmental impact of fossil fuels. This shift not only affects economic landscapes and job markets but also has demographic implications. Regions rich in renewable resources might see population increases due to new job opportunities, while traditional fossil fuel-dependent areas might face economic and demographic declines as industries shift. 24. Aging populations, late 20th century present. Many developed countries, including Japan, Italy, and Germany, are experiencing aging populations due to lower birth rates and higher life expectancies. This demographic shift poses challenges for pension systems, healthcare, and workforce demographics. It also creates opportunities for industries focused on elderly care and medical services. Governments and policymakers are compelled to adapt to these changes by modifying immigration policies and healthcare systems to manage the demographic pressures. 25. Urbanization, 20th century present. The trend of urbanization has been significant in shaping global demographic patterns. More people live in cities now than in rural areas, driven by the promise of better employment, education, and healthcare. This has implications for urban planning and infrastructure, as cities need to accommodate growing populations and manage the environmental impact. Urbanization also affects the distribution of populations within countries, often leading to underpopulated rural areas and overburdened cities. 26. Technological unemployment, 21st century. Advancements in technology, especially in automation and artificial intelligence, have begun to reshape employment patterns globally. Some jobs, particularly in manufacturing and services, are being replaced by machines. This shift could lead to significant changes in economic structures and has the potential to displace many workers, thereby affecting their economic status and demographic behaviors, such as migration and birth rates. 27. Increased life expectancy, 20th century present. Improved healthcare, better living conditions, and advancements in medical technology have significantly increased life expectancy worldwide. This change impacts population structures by increasing the proportion of older people, necessitating changes in healthcare, retirement planning, and even marketing strategies as companies adapt to an older clientele. 28. Migration crises, 21st century. Political instability, conflicts, and economic disparities have led to significant migration and refugee crises in various parts of the world, notably from Syria, Afghanistan, and regions of Africa towards Europe. These movements not only affect the demographics of the receiving countries but also raise social, economic, and political challenges as nations struggle to integrate large numbers of newcomers into their societies. 29. Rise of telecommuting, 21st century. The rise of telecommuting and remote work, accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic, is reshaping where and how people live. This trend allows for greater flexibility, with more people moving away from city centers to suburbs or even rural areas, potentially revitalizing these communities and changing local economies and demographic patterns. 30. Educational access, 20th to 21st century. The expansion of access to education, particularly for women and girls, across many parts of the world has profound demographic implications. Education is closely linked to lower birth rates, better maternal health, and improved economic opportunities. As more individuals gain education, they tend to have fewer children, enter the workforce, and contribute differently to their economies and societies. 31. Climate change and environmental degradation, late 20th century present. The impacts of climate change and environmental degradation are becoming increasingly apparent, affecting agricultural productivity, water availability, and living conditions. These changes force migrations and alter demographic patterns, particularly in vulnerable regions where people depend heavily on natural resources for their livelihoods. 32. Political instability and conflicts, 20th to 21st century. Ongoing political instability and regional conflicts in various parts of the world, such as in the Middle East, Africa, and recently in Eastern Europe with the conflict in Ukraine, significantly affect population movements and demographic structures. Such conflicts often lead to forced migrations, creating refugee crises and impacting neighboring countries and regions globally. The long-term demographic effects include altered age structures in the population and changes in the gender balance due to the loss of life during conflicts. 33. Advances in fertility treatments, late 20th century present. The development and improvement of fertility treatments such as IVF, in vitro fertilization, have allowed many individuals and couples to conceive children later in life or overcome fertility issues. This technological advance has implications for birth rates in developed countries, where fertility rates might otherwise be very low. It also influences societal norms around the timing of starting a family and the definition of family structures. 34. Global health initiatives, late 20th century present. Global health initiatives, such as those aimed at eradicating polio, improving maternal health, and combating HIV/AIDS, have contributed to increased life expectancy and decreased mortality rates in underdeveloped and developing regions. These initiatives, often supported by international organizations and philanthropies, have led to significant shifts in population health profiles and demographic patterns, contributing to population growth and changes in population structures. 35. Economic globalization, late 20th century present. The acceleration of economic globalization has facilitated the movement of goods, services, capital, and labor across borders. This economic interdependence influences migration patterns as people move to where jobs are available. It also impacts urbanization trends and the economic development of cities and countries, shaping demographic changes through patterns of economic migration and expatriate communities. 36. Rise of social media and digital communication, early 21st century present. The proliferation of social media and digital communication platforms has transformed social interactions and information dissemination. This revolution affects demographic trends by influencing public opinion, cultural norms, and even migration decisions. Social media platforms have also played crucial roles in mobilizing social movements and awareness campaigns that can lead to societal and demographic changes. 37. Shifts in international education, 21st century. Increasing numbers of students seeking higher education abroad contribute to demographic changes in host countries. International students often remain abroad after their studies, influencing the cultural and professional landscapes of their host countries. This global educational mobility also affects the demographic profiles of both the home and host countries, with long-term implications for global talent distribution. 38. Increasing autonomy and rights for women, 20th to 21st century. Significant strides in gender equality and the increasing autonomy and rights for women worldwide have profound demographic implications. As women gain access to education and enter the workforce, fertility rates tend to decline, and economic structures evolve. Women's empowerment in decision-making at all levels also impacts population health and educational outcomes for future generations. 39. Renewable energy and sustainability movements, early 21st century present. As concerns about climate change intensify, movements towards sustainability and renewable energy sources are reshaping economies and, by extension, demographic trends. These movements often lead to new industries and job opportunities, influencing migration patterns and urban development. They also play a role in shaping policies that impact population health and longevity and a role in shaping policies that impact population health and longevity. 40. Changing attitudes toward immigration, 21st century. Global attitudes towards immigration are constantly evolving, with significant implications for demographic patterns. Policies that open up a country to more immigrants can rejuvenate aging populations and supplement the workforce, while restrictive policies might lead to talent shortages and demographic imbalances. The political and social climates of countries regarding immigration greatly affect their demographic futures.